Coming up on All About Android, some of the best moments of 2018.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Welcome to All About Android, episode 401, recorded on Tuesday, December 25th, Christmas Day, 2018. Your weekly source for the latest news, hardware, and apps for the Android faithful. I'm Jason Howell, and I'm surrounded by no one. There are no TVs on either side of me, no Flo sitting next to me in the studio right now. The studio is actually dark all week. But we, as we usually do for this week, we all here at the studio went through our shows and collected some of the best moments. You may have heard me tease out on this show throughout the year, hey, we need your suggestions for some of the best moments for the show so that it would make my life a little bit easier on picking those moments. And thankfully you did. I really appreciate it when you guys do that. And it becomes just kind of a fun exercise for me to go back in time and check out all the episodes from the year and see, what some of those moments that really stand out. And we had a lot of fun on the show this year. So thankfully, I was able to pull together a number of clips to give you something to watch, even though we don't have a show right now. We do, and it's the best of 2018. Starting, this first clip is actually from episode 350. It's the earliest clip, and they're going to go kind of in sequential order. This one is where we kind of do a little bit of a recap of 2017's arena performance. So this will catch you up to speed.
So we don't have the actual numbers, but I'm sure the fine folks and the awesome folks who update the wiki will get it updated. But we can confirm that gives Flo the win for the year, making her the 2017 champion. She takes the championship away from the guests who had won in 2016. And just for historical sake, 2015 Jason won, 2014 I won, 2013 Gina won.
Wow.
2012 Jason won, and 2011 Eileen won. So Jason is the only two-time yearly winner, but up to this point, we've all won at least once. So I love it.
Good. I like where we're standing.
I present to you the prize for winning an extra cookie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There you go. A Cadbury cookie.
Sit it right there.
I have to bring the other one home to my husband.
Okay.
I try to
and
share.
make sure you tune in to the end of the show to hear what Flo and Jason thought of that cookie.
Yes.
But so before we talk about this next season of the arena, we've got some interesting stats that came up from Tony Morrow on Twitter.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tony Morrow, aka A Gizmo on Twitter,
who's awesome.
Yeah. And said, fun AAA arena stats. Number one, that Flo missed 6 episodes versus Jason and Ronix only missing 4. That could make her win even more impressive with this new polling kind of approach. Number 2, he says, I feel the new point system made it harder for guests this year because they missed 10 episodes. Yeah. That's 4 to 20 points lost. And that wasn't.
But
what, Ron?
I was gonna say yes, but even if they're not on the show, they can't win anyway. So it's a wash. Like even if we had the previous system, they would still be discouraged because if you're not here, you can't win.
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
Well, and I guess what I was going to say about that is like not having guests on the show. Like we definitely had more episodes through 2017 where it was just kind of the 3 of us, but that's just because we enjoy doing shows where it's just the 3 of us. We're kind of doing that right now. So it's just, I guess that's the way it goes.
It's just the way the cookie crumbles, the Oreo cookie
That's
crumbles.
the way the Oreo cookie crumbles.
Yes.
Thanks to Burke. We finally have what looks like toilet paper, but I promise you it's not.
It's not toilet paper. Do I wear this on my head?
It is a trophy, sure.
Nice.
There we go. It is your trophy. You are required. And apparently this never ends.
That's a lot of toilet paper. That's a lot of toilet paper.
I'm not sure what it is. It's
not
like foam
recyclable
or something.
I don't think.
This is bad. This is bad. Bad for the earth, this right here. We'll go ahead and
Well,
Set it
it's
right
because you're
here.
not supposed to throw it away. It's a trophy.
Yeah.
It's supposed
While
to
you guys
last
figure
forever.
that out, I will call out the fact that I love, and I don't know if this is Tony or someone else in the wiki, but I love that on the win stats page on the wiki, it does denote that Arena 347 was dismissed due to poll quote unquote shenanigans. So
Good.
Very politically correct. I love it.
I love our community. You guys are
Thank you,
amazing.
too.
Unlike Jason, Android News got a steady diet of Android News.
I can eat Android news. I just can't eat sugar, dairy.
So you can't eat Android
coffee.
news because that's exactly they're named after desserts, Jason.
Oh.
The whole point of Android
Well,
is
not
to consume.
The news. The news isn't.
But
The
it's still
news
made of
is just like
sugar,
stuff.
dairy, probably some caffeine in the cocoa that's
All
being
right.
used.
All right, fine. Well, I won't be able to eat pie, that's for sure, at least not for the next 10 days.
You
And
can't eat it anyway.
Guess what? That's what I mean.
Because-
Google has Android P, the letter P references flying through its repositories, which is no surprise. However, XDA editor-in-chief Michelle Rahman noticed a few files, anyways, that show references to Android Pie, as in the number, P-I.
3.14, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, exactly. Into infinity and beyond. And that got me thinking. I have a theory. I tweeted it out, but I'll go ahead and restate it
Here we
here.
go.
Last year, Android O Alpha, if you remember, it launched really early. The alpha preview was first released on March 21st. Pi is 3.14. Pi Day, where we celebrate Pi for some silly reason, is March 14th, which is really close to March 21st. Therefore, do you think we're going to see Android Pi Alpha on March 14th? Do you think Google's gone this far to tell us what their plans are? What do you think, Matteo?
I think this is a very nice tease. It's very early in the day. I'm quite amused by this because it's not the first time we've heard Pi as the name or potential name of a software release from Google. So if you remember, what then became KitKat was referenced to as Key Lime Pie.
Oh, yeah,
Pie.
that's right.
And this may just be me looking at two cases and then thinking that maybe Google internally refer to Android releases as three-barreled words. That we also had, as well as key lime pie, we also had New York cheesecake for nougat for a while in Google repositories. So who knows? Google have got good at teasing us. I believe at Google I/O last year, they were handing you bottles of Orangina, Oreos, and oranges.
In our interview, even.
Yeah, in our interview,
Indeed,
Oreos
so.
were there, and that's what it ended up being. So, and I think prior to that, I just kind of always assumed if they were ever teasing something, that's not actually what it's going to be. But this time, they kind of proved us wrong.
And it is Pi. It is 3.14.
Right.
So, but it seems too soon. It seems too soon.
It feels too soon, but I mean, it felt too soon on March 24th or 21st when the Android O came out.
I suppose it's true.
I mean, it's the alpha. Yeah, of course, it's too soon for the release. The official release happened late last year, but the alpha comes out so much earlier, and that's the precedent that they set last year. So
That's true.
So suddenly, in a couple of months, we're going to be talking about all the features that we, are starting to see out of the new version. Which you're right, it does feel a little soon.
My husband made me go vegan for a year, so I already paid my dues. Let's do this.
So I'm not eating this week's Oreos. Flo
I am.
will be eating this for me. And I think you got a pretty easy flavor.
Yeah, no, this is...
You got a flavor that's probably going to be a home run, I'm guessing. It's lemon Oreos.
Lemon.
And oh no.
Oh,
Got a little
there is.
got a little
Victor,
crumbled
can we
in
do
the
an
package.
over-the-shoulder shot? Either me
This is what you get when you order
this
from
is
Amazon.
What you get. They're all just... This is Amazon, how they shipped it to you? Amazon, what
Well,
is this? Is this why you got rid of retail stores so you could ship us stuff like this?
As I said last week, I went deep ordering on Amazon. So some of this came from Amazon Fulfillment. Some of this came from third-party sellers through Amazon.
This is sad. We're still trying it, though.
Yeah. What?
So that's the standard
Oh, look,
theory
it doesn't
of
even,
Oreos.
like, they're all crumbled. I can't even get, like, a whole one. It's fine.
That's okay. Well, how does it taste?
All right.
And maybe turn Mateo up in the bleed a little bit. Just
It smells a little bit like a Vegas casino. You know that faint, like lemony smell because like they clean
I can
it.
still smell even though I can't eat it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the standard variant of the Oreo lemon.
Yes.
Oh,
The
these
lemon
taste
variant.
very familiar. I'm just not quite sure what to equip them to.
Yeah.
I want to say, Mateo, they remind me of like a European cookie of a sort. But I'm just not sure. Like something I've eaten like from the airport, the Munich airport or something. Not like
Yeah.
something I've bought.
And now I know I've seen yellow Oreos. Are these the same thing? Because I don't
The white part, well, I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think the filling is lemon in the
No,
normal
it's
like
just
white
cream.
Oreos.
It's just cream.
Yeah.
This is good,
So
though.
this is different.
This is
Okay.
really palatable. I'm going to eat the whole thing.
It's palatable. They should print that
So
on
here,
print that on the wrapper. Lemon Oreos. They're palatable. You might
and palatable.
think they're okay.
You know what's the most used bumper here on Android News? Oh, wait a minute. This just in.
Wow.
Wait a minute. Now I feel like I need some breaking news. Wait, what is the news? What do I need to follow?
So, this just in, guys. I've been watching the stream all day, and it looks like the Earth is not the shape of an Oreo.
Oh, that is breaking news, Victor. Dang, look at you, man.
Wow.
So, thanks to
Victor
Elon Musk.
Victor dropped a bit on us.
I know. He delivered a bit
know.
and he delivered. He dropped a bit and he delivered. So is this real or is this fake? What we're looking at right now.
It's fake. It's
Well, no.
absolutely fake.
I mean, this is okay. All right. Because I missed all of this today. I was busy doing other things. I missed
Busy
all
working.
the launch and whatever. So I didn't know, like, did they actually launch a car?
Yeah, they threw a Tesla into Mars or something.
They
like
actually
that.
did that?
Yeah, they just went.
But what we're looking at here is not real. Right?
Victor?
I think it's on the.
Is it actually
in
real?
space.
So this is in space right now. It looks like a set to me.
How are they? I don't know.
Huh? Burke says 100%
Burke
real.
says it's 100%
I trust
real.
Burke.
Burke says 100% real.
Oh,
Burke doesn't believe a
is
lot
it
of
a
stuff.
Tesla Roadster? It's not a Tesla.
Yes. It's a Roadster.
It's not a functional Tesla Roadster.
It's not driving through space. It's
Our-
merely floating there.
Burke says.
Okay, well, that's how clueless I've been today. I just know that something along these lines happened, and then when you put up this live video, which is the first today that I've even seen it, it just looks so fake to me. But okay, all right, it's real. There's a car in space.
I don't know. You can see the reflection on the car and stuff. And
Yeah, but I guess so. You could do that with lights.
In space,
There was
no
a
one
few.
can
There was
hear
a
you
few
out of me.
lens flares that I think would be hard to.
Yeah, but they got J.J. Abrams
Well, yeah,
to
it's
help out.
J.J. Abrams. He has a copy on every planet in the atmosphere.
True.
Whatever.
It's unfortunate that J.J. Abrams owns basically the likelihood of any lens flare joke in existence going forward.
I know what happened to it just being for the Photoshop crowd.
Totally. It's not fair.
I'm looking at the photos, and they put a car on the nose cone of this rocket. That's crazy.
We're all just catching up right now. Tonight's
I know. It really is crazy though. Like that's.
I like it.
So it is
I'm
breaking news
crazy.
to you guys.
Thank you for the break.
mean, it's-
yes, it's breaking news to us too. Exactly.
It's not. It's
There,
not
see, he's
Android
got, he's
related.
got different
but yeah.
angles and everything. So
So yeah, this is the shot that I saw earlier, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
what is going on here? Anyways, they didn't put. Maybe that's an Android device mounted on the dock. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
yes,
Android
that,
Auto-
that was
that's
my
Android
that was
Auto,
my
actually,
tie-in
yeah.
to it. So
that is.
Yeah.
Android-
along with the Oreo shape.
Does Android Auto work in space? I don't know.
Does it work on Earth? Ba-dum-ting.
Oh.
Sorry, that was
that's
really
not
low. It does.
fair.
It works fine,
That
everyone.
was harsh.
That was just to make a.
This was interesting. This is more of a concept, but a company that we've talked about very recently on the show, Vivo, they had the first fingerprint sensor behind the display phone earlier this year. They showed off a concept phone called the Apex, where
VIVO,
What's
just to
that?
spell it out.
What?
For that. VIVO, just to spell it out for anyone wondering.
Oh, yes. Sorry, not the music video company that you see on YouTube. Right, that's Vivo, I think.
Yes.
This Vivo, a different Vivo, has a half-screen in-display fingerprint scanning technology. So In other words, there isn't one single point that you put your finger. There's a whole like block on the bottom like third of the display that you can put your fingerprint anywhere on there, and it will read it through the glass, which is kind of neat. I'd love to see how that works. You can unlock your fingerprint anywhere within that area, basically. You can also require 2 simultaneous fingerprints at once. You like using one fingerprint? How about 2 at the same time? Because apparently, that would make it even more secure. And if you have all that extra space, that's something you can do now. So it has that option. Bezel-less concept phone, but that means what do you do with the selfie camera and the stuff that's located up at top? Do you do a notch? Sure, some people are doing a notch, but Vivo decided to do a pop-out, a mechanically popping out selfie camera that literally pops out of the top of the phone. This little square shelf just extends, and there's your camera. It kind of like looks like a periscope. And then the earpiece was piezoelectric, so it's bone conduction to hear things through. But like I said, concept at the moment. There's the periscope. What do you guys think? Is this the future? Is this the future that Ron has envisioned?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. What wasn't there supposed to be this technology in the Galaxy S9? I was reading. It's possible I dreamed it because my dreams are very vivid.
There were rumors. There were rumors that said the Galaxy S9 was going to have under display fingerprint sensing or whatever, but. I think that was shot down a couple of months ago where they were like, actually, they've moved on. Apple moved on from that also.
We've moved on.
Had been rumored to do that.
From your wishes.
Vivo is like, no, we're going to prove that it's possible. And they are proving that it's possible. On my Pixel here, on my Pixel display, there's always that little fingerprint down at the bottom. And every once in a while, without thinking, like I tap it, thinking like that's what it would be. It would be kind of nice to just be able to go boop and be let in.
But would it? Because isn't the index finger so much easier on the back? It certainly is for me.
I mean, yeah,
why not have both?
Too. Yeah, why not have both?
Why not both?
Exactly. Why one when you can have both?
Speaking of matching our news, the big news is here we are in March, and our good friend of the show, Ev Leaks, confirmed on Twitter that we're going to see the Android Pie dev preview #1 sometime around mid-March. And you know what's around mid-March?
Mm-hmm.
March 14th. You know what March 14th is?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people's birthdays.
Pie Day.
Oh, yes, and Pie Day.
And pie is a dessert, and P is a letter. That is the version of Android. Who knows? Maybe we'll get an early name announcement on March 14th. But we'll get to that in a moment. But we got some more details about Android P as it's emerging. Android P is going to restrict non-public APIs, which is interesting. And that means that unofficially supported APIs in the Android SDK won't be available for developers to use in third-party apps. It will begin to slowly edge out dev access to those APIs to give devs time to migrate to official APIs. It won't affect apps already using an unofficial API until the dev moves to a new API level. So current apps shouldn't be affected just going forward. Interesting that the graphic there, by the way, is pancakes with syrup.
I was pointing at it in real life. Yeah, yes.
That's insane.
There's a theme going on here.
Yeah. Oh, listen to this. Android P will also support the Bluetooth HID device profile natively. Love that Bluetooth support. This will be support for things using the Android device as a touchscreen input device for other device via Bluetooth. So it's a pretty robust update to Bluetooth. So first off, do you think they'll announce that it's Android Pie on March 14th? Michael Fisher.
Do I think that the name will be Pie, or do I think that the announcement will happen on the 14th, or both? Or
both.
Either? Both. Yes. No, I think we'll get
yes.
something on the 14th. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like pancakes is more fun. I feel like I would really like to be surprised. I would like some pecan pie, make it something just a little bit more Flavor Town worthy. I don't know. We'll get something on the 14th, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to see something like, I mean, the stars are aligning on this one, and this seems like ripe for the picking for Google to have something come out on the 14th. It's the right time of year compared to last year. It starts with a letter P. Pie is delicious. Do I think that's going to be the official name of the next version of Android? No, but I think it's a great way for them to launch the dev preview or the alpha or whatever it ends up being, saying, hey, and almost in Google's way, which they love to do, kind of ribbing you along and saying, hey, we're launching on Pi Day. No correlation at all, wink, wink. So I think we'll see it on Pi Day, but I don't think it'll ultimately be Android Pie. That's my guess.
What do you think?
I guess I agree with you guys.
Good.
I mean, listen, this is the company that hides names in like its source code, all right? Yeah. So I'm not even gonna can't even like I just am pleasantly surprised when little things happen, then I go, that's cute. That's why I use Android.
I mean, if it ends
I'm going to go out there on a limb and say it will be called Pi, and they will announce it on March 14th. So there you go. We got all the ends of the spectrum covered.
Do you think this will be the first year where they're like way in advance? They go, it's Android Pie. That's it. You now know the name. We're not, you know.
I think we should start doing things like that, honestly, because there's a lot going on in the world, and we need to know the names of future software coming out.
It's the most important thing in the world right now is knowing the name of the software.
We got to stop holding down secrets. We have to stop with all this, lack of transparency. Let's just be honest about what's going on, be out in the open, and just embrace each other and our values.
Just embrace the pie.
I'm trying to say, is there a branded candy like that? Like, I mean, I would prefer it be called.
We don't really have that in the West Coast.
I've never
by the way.
I know you don't. Yeah, I know.
That's an East Coast.
Come over here. We've got rain and snow all the time, and the greatest seltzer in the world. It's a nice.
We have no rain ever, just drought and expensive water bills.
So we're all doing great.
You know what else is interesting to watch? Our feeds.
A little.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Sneak peek into our lives. So how do we need some sort of wheel? How do we pick who goes first?
Oh boy. I'll just go first. I'll take one for the team. Or I mean, I don't know. I mean, if anyone else is nervous to go,
I'm not nervous. I mean, I offered up unfiltered access. If Victor clicks the link in the doc, he can get into my phone. So,
all right, we'll give Victor time to get into your phone. I'll go ahead and go first because I've got it up here. So what is this segment? We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. We said, it'd be very interesting to see what we have inside of our Google feed because it's been really, very good at offering up stories, blah, blah, blah. We should do that on a future episode. Here we are. We're going to check out our feeds and hopefully... Well, it could be very uneventful. It could be like, there's a bunch of Android news.
Yeah, it's true.
Could be not, though.
I'm fairly certain it will be surprising no matter what we see. So,
all right. So we'll dive into my feed first. I'll be the guinea pig here. We'll go ahead and swipe over. My feed is showing, of course, the weather up top. Google Assistant multi-step smart home routines are now live.
That's routine. Singular routine.
Oh, yes. That S is disingenuous. We didn't have this story I also thought that this feed would be a good way to get in like quick hits on stories we didn't include in the rundown.
Is that our new segment now?
It totally could be.
Jason's feed.
Android Oreo 8.1 is actually available for Essentials. So if you have an Essential phone, you're going to start getting 8.1 update, I think, imminently. So that's good. Galaxy S9 Plus versus Pixel 2 XL, new low light champion. Okay. Nothing really that surprising here. Like, this is what I do a lot is read stories like this. AT&T Time Warner merger, Fitbit Versa undercuts Apple Watch. Okay, so Fitbit has a new smartwatch that they announced today. I haven't really read very much about it, but apparently it undercuts the Apple Watch on size and price. Movies Anywhere, we've talked about that on the show. They've actually now added Fandango Now. Okay, 9 games we'll never install. I hardly play video games, but I still get it in my feed. 6 Balloons official trailer with Netflix. Rex Tillerson, of course, that was big news today.
Of course.
Taylor Swift.
No.
First surprise.
That's your daughter right there.
First
that's
surprise
your
in my feed.
Algorithm.
I've got some Taylor Swift Delicate.
That's her new video that just came out yesterday.
Is it from her album?
Yeah.
Okay, then I know the song, but I don't know the video.
She's dancing around because she's free from her celebrity. Anyway.
Pennsylvania special election, 10 reasons to visit Fort Myers and Sanibel, Florida, because we're going to Sanibel.
They always do that. It's always from like a random site I've never heard of.
Random site? Well, National Geographic.
Oh, never mind.
However, we are going to Sanibel, Florida. Like that's where we're spending part of our vacation.
Have you searched for Sanibel, Florida?
I don't remember ever searching.
It probably looked at your tickets.
Upcoming trip.
Yep.
In your
It's
Gmail.
just right there.
Yep. I did not search specifically for Sanibel, so I know that it's pulling that. And then, of course, Orlando from the New York Times. It says your
upcoming trip. Yeah.
So, it does. Right. You're up. Oh, that's smart. That's really cool.
Yeah. That's really good.
Phew.
By the way,
the weirdest thing that happened was Taylor Swift.
All right.
Do you want to watch the video?
No, not at all.
Are you sure that we could play the song?
Okay. No.
All
right. Phew. I made it out alive. Okay. Who's going next?
Flo, would you like to, or do I'm ready to? If you want
Ron,
me to dive
you go
in.
because you're ready. I'm gonna go last.
Okay, so Victor is dialed. Here is my phone. Here you go. You see, this is my home screen. Fun stuff.
Looking at Ron's home screen.
All right, I am going to swipe right. You ready?
Swipe right.
I have no idea what we're gonna find here. Okay, let's do it. And
it'll be really underwhelming if it's all the same stuff.
Of course, the first thing is the Mets.
All right, here we go. Juan Lagares trade is looking possible. All right. Then we got something on Robert Mueller. All right. Something on Star Wars. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Mac OS WWDC 2018. Interesting. The Mets Astros score today.
Surprised that scorecard is not up at the top.
Yep. Related stories. It's asking me if this card is useful. I'm going to say yes, it is.
I would say it is. Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Violent video games not welcome for Olympic esports. It's trending.
Okay, that's trending. That's kind of
It's my phone really thinks I still live in San Francisco, so it gives me giant scores.
You still sort of care, right?
Yeah, no, I do care. I do care.
All right.
More about him. Whatever. No, this is not useful. HBO.
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage cast a Superman in Teen Titans Go movie. That hits a lot of things.
Okay, so wait a minute. So is that Nicolas Cage? Is it Teen Titans Go or is it Superman?
Nicolas Cage is trending.
But it's trending for me because comicbook.com is a site I go to a lot. So that makes sense.
Okay.
Here under I've never seen a section called comics, but this is about the American Gods comic. A little bit of local weather. We're getting hit with nor'easters.
That's good. Doing you a service, public service.
A little Google and Sith.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
It's telling me that there's a new episode of The Flash tonight, which I love to watch. It's also telling me that Que Sera Sera by Doris Day was released yesterday. And that's fascinating because Que Sera Sera is a song that we listened to like 2 years ago a lot. And I haven't listened to it in a while, but it does have a lot of emotional resonance. And I'm really that it's serving that up. And then, of course, there's a new episode of Fixer Upper tonight.
Which is your favorite TV show of all time.
Well, hey, Shiplap. Ron loves Shiplap.
Yes, he's a big Shiplap fan.
Let's say two things. When you live with someone else, you accept what they like, and also that show's been on the downhill this season. It's just not good. Anyway,
I will say I've spent many hours watching that show when I had cable TV. Part of the reason I got rid of cable TV is because I watch shows like that all the time.
Yeah.
All right,
well, I don't cable TV either. I actually pay Google Play for the season.
Oh no,
that's how I pay for it. I pay HGTV to watch Fixer Upper.
That's so full on intention right there.
Pay your devs, pay artists. You should pay for your media. So there it is.
This is such an interesting window into our lives. It's Flo's turn. Flo, what you got? There better be some Kardashian in there.
Oh boy. Okay. Look at see what I mean by my home screen. I have an aesthetic.
That's cool looking.
Here we go.
Here we go.
All right, so the first one is robot vacuum cleaner. Nita launches assistant-enabled BotVac D7 robot vacuum.
That makes sense.
In case anybody wants to know.
I mean, your beat right now
is
what you're
smart
doing
home.
is smart homes. That totally makes sense.
Google's the second thing from The Verge. Oh my God, my heart is beating. I'm like so scared.
It's okay.
It's really, it's like, this is nerve-wracking.
It's revealing.
Yeah, it's very revealing.
Thank you. I needed a second. Trending. Here's what Ned Stark whispered during his Game of Thrones death.
Is that a spoiler? probably.
Well, because I used to be really into Laura Hudson. I still am. Laura Hudson used to recap every Game of Thrones episode. And so like I used to do a lot of research.
One of these days I'll watch that show.
Samsung Galaxy S series. Okay. Android. Aviation is a thing I do like. I am kind of a closet aviation nerd.
I heard about this story about the dog that died in the...
you guys, this happens a lot. Or I mean, I shouldn't say that, but anyway, it's not the first
it's sad.
thing,
It's sad.
Jimmy Kimmel I was Googling him during the Oscars, reading up hot takes, as you do.
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch is a thing I'm really into because I'm always looking, what game can I buy this week?
Well, there's an update that adds small fixes and hidden features if you're
it's
interested.
from Polygon, which is a site that I get a lot of my gaming news from.
Yep.
Smartphone notches, a startup pitching a mind uploading service that is 100% fatal from MIT Technology Review, which, by the way, great publication. I love it. This is why I love it, because they do stories like that where you're like...
Question marks over your head.
And of course, we have the new episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills tonight.
It's not quite Kardashian, but it's close enough.
Ooh, Eileen Davidson's in tonight's episode. Eileen Davidson of The Young and the Restless and Days of Our Lives.
You're so much better than this, Flo.
Blackish is a show also that's coming up for me.
I've heard that's a good show. I've never watched it.
We're not doing more stories, are we? No.
I don't think we're going into more stories.
Because if we got more stories, then
I'll happily tap to refresh, tap to update. There's the Mets score.
Yeah, nothing.
Here we go. I stopped sharing my window, but I got 11 truly old school red sauce Italian joints in New York City, gabagool, galamad, mozzarella, and more.
Yeah, that's right down your alley.
Okay, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah,
I'm upset that because normally in my feed is Disney World updates, and I was hoping there would be one for you since you're going.
Yeah, me too. Actually, I'm surprised it didn't pick up on that. I've got plenty of little Disney World reservations in my email.
I'm kind of bummed that being an aviation geek means that I get
you get sad stories
about. Because I get all the stuff about like United Airlines. Like I just get every news about United, so I know like every awful thing that. Hey,
at least you know.
At least I know.
At least you know, so you can avoid if need be.
That's the feed.
That was really fun, you guys.
I hope the viewers enjoyed it.
I don't know if it was fun for anybody else, but I thought it was really entertaining.
I think it was an interesting experiment. I think it was a good experiment for us to do because this is a part of the AI and the machine learning that Google infuses so much into its products. And so the idea here is, their whole slogan, make Google do it, like make Google get the news for you. Only the news that you want. Yeah. That's important to you. So it is important to me know what stupidity United has done because I have a mileage number with them. Like
you've shown Google that you're interested.
I've booked flights with United.
Yeah.
And I will say that this little demo showed we are three distinct individuals who search and absorb different bits of news, and there was not one article that was in all three of our feeds, which I think is fascinating.
Yeah.
So
that's true. Wade County says, I guess you can do this segment every 3 to 4 months. We'll see about
Sure. Yeah, I'm down with that.
It might get old if we continue to do it, but maybe we'll do it again sometime.
Maybe we can do it while eating Oreos.
There you go. Our pre-show is going to get longer than our actual show if we continue down that route.
Before we move on, and Victor, you do not have to use the camera on this.
I'm just looking
at it for. I know this is like your bill is due on your credit card, but I just want to add that the shelf is still my favorite part of this Google feed is just the being able to have all my travel time to places that matter.
I just
to
never
me.
think to go there.
I get a lot of packages because I run a business for my house, so I'm always getting things, and just to be able to
what business are you running?
My business, my writing business,
your content business. I will say that I recently set up Google Maps and Google Now for my commute. And I did that last night. Actually, I never even noticed it. And then tonight, it told me it's like time to leave. Your train is running 2 minutes late. And I was like, oh wow, that's great. It was awesome.
Handy.
And every Tuesday, I get a little card for Twit, and then
that kicks you out the door. Yeah. It says seriously, get moving.
Yeah,
don't get stuck in traffic.
On your eyeshadow. And other days when I go to more, if I'm going somewhere where I like exercise often or whatever, like it'll.
Yeah, I've gotten really into the habit of anything that I put into my calendar. If there is a location, I take the 5 seconds to put it in there because it really enhances those reminders that you get through your feed as far as like you need to leave now in order to get to your thing. Instead of just being reminded your thing's in a half an hour, it actually says like, you got to get on the road right now to get your thing.
It goes, you have
really
56 minutes to get there. You better be on the road already. And I'm just like, oh my God.
What do I do? I give up, obviously, because I'm not.
I'm not going to make it. How does this help me?
All right, cool. What's in your feed? I love it. Let's do it again sometime. All right, everybody, we do this now and then, and we're going to do it again. We have a new survey for you to do, and we want you to help us out. Since our listeners are techies like you, this one focuses on how you use collaborative software at work. So the survey is super brief. It takes about 6 minutes. It doesn't collect any personal data or anything like that. You can find it at the URL twit.to/survey and then the number 12, twit.to/survey12. Go there, take the survey, and we really appreciate it, and we thank you for your support. Flo.
I was taking off some plastic.
Oh, that's my favorite part. Father Robert, however, does not do that. He leaves the plastic on.
Well, I'm a jerk. Here, put this on.
Yeah, well, hold on. I feel like this needs to come off a little bit better. Yes, you're right,
it does. I know. I just, I feel bad.
That's going to drive me insane.
Well, all right, I'll explain what's going on here. So for the first order of business for our hardware section today is a show and tell of the Lenovo Mirage Solo, which is, as you guessed it, a Solo Daydream standalone.
Kind of looks like
headset.
A smiley face.
It does look like a smiley face. So this is the first Daydream standalone device. No handset required. It's the first to utilize Google's World Sense tracking. Did it turn on when you?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I told Jason that it does this cool little thing where when you take it off, it immediately puts it into standby, and then when you put it back on, like everything comes back. Which is nice.
I want that to fit a little bit
So
tighter,
you can adjust here in the back.
Okay,
and then there's also a button on the bottom of right here on the bottom of the device that you can use. It's kind of like getting into a car, you know, when you're adjusting the wheel and all that, right?
It says we're having difficulty finding your controller.
Let me give you the controller right here. Your nice tan. Sorry. It's just I noticed this very tan when I handed it over to you.
That's my Google I/O tan.
So this, the Mirage has got dual 6 degrees of freedom tracking cameras inside it, which makes it a much more enjoyable experience than the phone, I will say. Like immediately off the bat, this feels a lot more, a much better experience than Daydream on the phone.
Yeah, it's nice.
10 degrees.
It looks like something out of a Daft Punk video.
Yes, I agree. You do look very Daft Punky.
Why, thank you. Yeah, there really needs to be virtual turntables in here.
Yeah, white is Burke just mentioned that it's too white, and white is not a good color for VR because of the reflection when you are putting your eyes in there. But anyway, so 110 degree field of view, and inside, for those of you who like specs, Snapdragon 835 with 4 gigs of RAM, so very close to what's inside a phone. 64 gigs on board with an expansion slot right there on the outside, and it runs what's called Daydream 2.0 operating system. So it looks a lot like the Daydream app on Android. It looks exactly like the Daydream app on Android. It's just that it has its own little, it's just that the settings are self-contained, and it's like its own little Android device. It has, and just so you know, it has a 5.5 inch display. Like that's what you're looking at on the inside, which is also very interesting. Burke just brought out turntables.
You guys are messing with me now, aren't you?
Burke just brought out turntables to try and fit into the whole half. I can't reach your hand to the other side of the table. There's also a 4,000 milliamp battery in here, which lasts up to 2.5 hours, so not so far off from a phone. This thing is $400. I will say, same tracking things as the Daydream headset with the smartphone. Same tracking issues with the remote. I'm still having some issues getting that remote just sort of to stay in my line of sight when I tell it to, but the onboarding will like tell you to constantly fix it. So there you go.
Well, hang on. This video that we just saw says it's got perfect fit and everlasting comfort.
It's
Jason, is that everlasting comfort on your head right now?
It's everlasting-ish.
I started to get a little uncomfortable after about 25 minutes.
It's more. Yeah. I mean, it fits snugger than snug.
It's supposed to be
snugglier than the Daydream.
Are you in something right now, or are you just playing around?
I am. I'm in a wooded environment. There's a deer just walked out in front of me.
Yes.
I've got a flashlight. I'm looking.
Yes, you're doing. You're doing the onboarding. The little preview. Mm-hmm. Jason found his way inside the virtual reality world.
I mean, but the thing that I'm really interested in is this idea of world sense tracking, which basically means when you move around, you get closer to things as you would into the real world. And yeah, I mean, I'm sitting down, so it's kind of a limited example of it, but it looks really good. I would love to jump into like a nice big experience and be able to.
That really helps the AR experience. I'm sorry, the VR experience too. Is that motion tracking on your head? It reduces the separation between the natural environment and what's in the goggles.
Yeah.
So that should help the experience last a little longer.
Mike
25 minutes it is a long time within VR, so I could never do any VR experience that long.
Yeah. Mike is totally.
There's a dinosaur back there.
It's not a dinosaur. It's a porcupine. We later find out. Sorry to spoil it for you.
I also wanted to say that the advertisement that we're watching with those people moving their head in those weird ways is not compelling at all. Being their official advertising, it just looks awkward the way that woman and those guys are moving their head around. It does not make
you
it
want
look
to
appealing.
jump into the world of Daydream VR.
I will say that this is a much more accessible for me than having my phone be the VR thing, because I don't want to give my phone up. And I also don't really want to cloud it with all that Daydream stuff. My phone is business and socialization. And when I'm in VR, I want to be alone. I want to be left alone. So here's your standalone.
Listen, the assistant can make all your calls and make your appointments while you can stay in VR land. There you go.
Precisely.
Well, what I like about this that I'm hoping wouldn't happen, that always seems to happen with like the Daydream in a Daydream viewer putting a phone in, is hot face. After like 20 minutes, your phone's like super hot, and because it's right up on your eyes, you start getting that kind of
no hot phones,
sweaty hot face feeling, and I don't think you get that. I'm hoping you don't get that in here.
No hot phones. There is also a little companion device that goes with this, sort of.
Okay, I can take this off.
You
now,
can.
Probably.
Are you okay? How are you doing? How are you doing?
No, it's
Welcome
good.
back.
I can't wait to play around with it a little bit more.
I would say it's a lot more immersive than the Daydream on the phone. Would you agree?
Yeah, having that sense of depth with the world sense really is a big difference.
It is. It's getting there. So that's $400.
That's expensive,
which is a lot of money compared to, I guess the Oculus is about the same right now, the Oculus Rift.
Mm-hmm.
You do have the Oculus Go.
Right.
Yes. The other ones you need a computer, which we're not going to even talk about those because they don't even matter.
Different.
Because it's all about Android, not all about computers.
There's lots of speculation. We all know that YouTube Music was coming. What is it going to do? What is that going to mean for Google Play Music?
What does it mean, Ron?
Now we know, starting today, YouTube Music Premium started rolling out and re-updating, and it was updating the YouTube Music app. YouTube Music Premium will be $9.99 and includes ad-free music, background listening, and downloads. YouTube Premium is $11.99 and also includes ad-free video, background video playback, video downloads, and YouTube Originals. So the plan for this is to eventually replace Google Play Premium and YouTube Red. All right, so for all those wondering what happens to Google Play Premium and YouTube Red, the plan is to replace it. It's very confusing. The update will come to the app that's already in the Play Store. So if you have the YouTube Music app, look out for the update. And they rolled out a new video that shows the new design. It's focused on personalized recommendations. Surprise, surprise. You can toggle for turning on or off videos. Maybe you just want music or you just want videos. Who knows? There's the My Mixtape playlist collection built from your repeated listens and favorite artists and related recommendations. And there's a lot of stuff and I just clicked away from it. I'm sorry. If you go to music.youtube.com/coming-soon and enter your email, you get notified when the update is coming your way. It's going to launch initially in the US, Mexico, South Korea, Australia, and New Zealand. So it's still pretty limited. And I'm sorry, our friends in Canada, you guys just get screwed all the time. But they're saying a wider international rollout in the coming weeks. And ultimately, the app will opt for the premium audio in cases where an album track and a video track coexists. So it's interesting how they're defining the premium audio aspect. And then the biggest question of all, YouTube Music PM product manager Elias Roman says, quote, to the Google Play Music users out there, nothing will change. You'll still be able to access and add to all of your purchased music, uploads, and playlists in Google Play Music, just like always. Went on to further say, if you have access to YouTube Red today, you will continue to enjoy the same benefits at the same price once YouTube Premium becomes available. This includes Google Play Music and Family Plan members. So playlists, collections, preferences will all be preserved and migrated. So really what this means is that the only thing changing is the name and the app.
Yeah, two things to do the one thing. And I'm pretty sure eventually Play Music actually does go away. Because I keep,
you think that they're lying?
Because I keep hearing and reading things like "for now," like that, those little qualifiers. Nothing's changing. It's going to stay the same for now. That kind of stuff. It's like, okay, so then at some point it goes away. I just don't know how you merge the Play Music. Folks working on Play Music and YouTube Music, and there's so much crossover in that silly way that Google does things, and they don't at some point make some big decision between the two. I don't know how you do that.
Yeah,
but
I'm just glad that Google Play Music's not going away. I disagree with you, Jason. I think that they're going to keep it around because I think people just want that. What I'm curious is that I'm in at the $7.99 deal from that, that original one. So will that? I guess that's got to be grandfathered, but I have YouTube Red, so that's just going to automatically turn into YouTube Premium.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. So. That's what I'm understanding from the many different places I saw Google on Twitter answering questions from people that were just as confused about this very topic. It sounds like if you have that grandfathered lower price, that's going to continue. It's going to be moved over, and you'll just have that. So. It sounds like Flo is saying I don't care because you're Spotify, right?
I just listen.
At this point,
this has been confusing from day one, which is why I didn't choose the trajectory. I didn't choose this, or rather, I didn't choose this path because I just didn't trust that it was going to take me anywhere. I didn't trust Google's process.
Here's the problem with Google's process is that messaging, music, payment. Whenever they get something new shiny, they want to rebrand it. And has any brand other than Android stuck around for more than 3 years?
So true, Ron. So true. Michelle, what do you think? What are your thoughts?
It's a gigantic mess, and I'm still trying to comprehend exactly what's being rebranded to what's staying the same and what's not. I mean, I think it's kind of ridiculous that a lot of the news about what would happen to Google Play Music subscribers we're finding out through tweets from like the support channel. I would not have seen that unless people had posted that on Reddit and it went all over and then it got reblogged everywhere. So like, why isn't there like a clear explanatory page from Google saying, if you're a current subscriber to Google Play Music, you get this. If you're a current subscriber to YouTube Red, this happens.
You know why? I'll tell you why. Because this is targeted at new customers, and existing customers will ask on Twitter and get the answers they want, and will read on Reddit. And it is such a small population that they don't want to confuse and scare away the new customers.
That certainly makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's dumb.
Sure. I never said it was smart.
And I mean, another one of the criticisms that's happening right now is that they're promoting their next big move in music streaming. This is we've done it wrong up until this point. Now we're doing it right. Except for the fact that their big, splat push of saying it's available to you is followed up by, if you go to this website and you put in your email and maybe you hear back from us someday in the limited number of markets that we are actually in, someday we'll get back to you and let you know that we're letting you in, even though right now you're excited to get in on it. Like it just completely deflates it and takes the wind out of the sails. And it's just
it makes you jump through hoops. Yeah, it's not great. It's not great, Bob.
It hurts.
Which is why I use Spotify.
Well, see, that's the thing. Spotify isn't going around changing their marketing or the name of their service every 2 years because they feel like they need to.
Yeah, and they're also running out of money. So,
well, yeah, you might have to, Flo.
They can't make money for the life of them. So
that's all right. I still have digitally imported
for now. So at Google I/O, there was an announcement about Google Lens and how it was being updated and to be better and neater and all those things. I wonder if it'll work on today's Oreo pick. But I'm going to show it off. So basically, what does the new Google Lens actually do? It's like real-time scanning. So I'm going to open up Assistant and hit the little Google Lens button. And now you can see these little dots, these little flying dots all around. That means that it's actively scanning this whatever happens to be in front of the camera. I didn't try this before with the Oreo, but you can see the little dot that appeared over the Oreo. It recognized something, and it's using AR-Core as far as I know because it's locked onto the object.
Interesting.
And I'll tap it, and then it'll pull up. It's not doing nearly that great of a suggestion, saying it might be one of these. Is it an Oreo? And yes, it's an Oreo, and it'll look for results. And hey, there's the Oreo logo. That wasn't very impressive. But I didn't bring anything. Oh, give me your Pellegrino cup. I bet that'll work. Let's see here. All right, let's see. I was doing this in my living room, and it pretty closely identified my couch, even though my couch is really old. All right, so Pellegrino. Let's see.
Where's your couch from?
I can't remember. It's so old, I can't even remember. All right, so it's picked up a couple of different things. I'm not really quite sure. San Pellegrino. Okay. Great. It's kind of doing the same thing.
Here, try my ring.
That's a good
I have
one.
A stone.
Okay.
I have this is a watermelon tourmaline, so see if it knows what it is.
Okay.
That's going to be interesting.
Come on, recognize a ring. Pop Tarts. Come on. You can do it. It's a special ring. Come on.
What if you hold it?
Now I could tap it, and it will say, looks like a ring.
Yes, but what's the stone?
That's really nice. Thanks for letting me know that. Okay, Burke brought out a Pop Tart.
I need my ring back. Sorry, I love this ring.
Oh.
And
wow. No. Okay.
That looks like a yummy Pop Tart, though.
Okay, what else? Next. Clorox wipes.
Stand up the object like it is normally.
Oh, I got something. What is it giving me? Oh, there we go.
Oh, now it's giving you shopping.
It actually worked, you guys. Similar products. Clorox disinfecting wipes. It recognized it. I could tap it, I think, and it'll take me to buy it. Isn't that amazing? It just works every single not quite time. Let's see if it works on this random thing that's been in the studio.
Oh, shucks. I should have grabbed some makeup or something.
I love that can, man. Let me tell you.
Yeah, that can's not.
I still have mine.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you wanted me to show the game. Okay.
Oh, that's meta.
What phone is this? Oh, sorry. I backed away too far. Okay, what phone is this? I don't have to ask. Why is it not working? Fine. I think I confused it now. It doesn't want to work anymore.
It's like if you're training a puppy.
I like how a mode in new Google Lens is this that's overwhelmed.
It's like I don't know it anymore.
I need a moment.
Yeah, it's not even doing the live scanning anymore. Like it doesn't even have those little blinky blink things on. Here, let me try it one more time. Okay, we'll jump into it. Oh, there we go. Okay, will it know that this is a Pixel? It identified something. And an HP Elite book.
Elite book.
All right, so it needs work. It needs some work.
To be fair, the machine sees the keys, and the keys that are on the Pixel book are keys that are on various other laptops. So at least it suggested laptop.
At least it knew it was a keyboard. Yes, well, I did this at home with my MacBook Pro, just the keyboard, and it recognized it as a MacBook Pro keyboard. But
that's maddening.
Yeah, but it doesn't on its own computer. It doesn't on Google's own computer.
It's maddening.
Yeah. All right, so it needs work.
Does it recognize the Google logo?
Apparently not. No. Let me try and do one last thing here, which is that it can actually take text and make it.
Oh, wow.
Now
you can select that text, right?
I should be able to.
Stop.
I should be able to.
What? Oh, I love this. That's exciting.
Yeah. Copy. Translate. Yeah, so you could do this on written words and turn it into selectable, copyable, pastable, all that stuff.
Or if you need to send something to a family member, off of
before.
a physical, thank you,
Yeah.
off of a physical piece of equipment, then you can do that. It's very helpful.
Sure. So there you go. Google Lens redesigned with a real world, real time scanning, and your mileage may vary, obviously.
Fascinating.
Before we get into the news, though, pre-show we were talking about how Android P is really kind of on the near horizon. It's not very far away, and we'll talk about how much closer we are to it in a few minutes. But we haven't really done any sort of rumination on the show as to what the dessert that could possibly be, or if maybe we have. I'd be really surprised if we haven't actually at this point, but I don't think that we have.
Given that, I think we threw names out, but given that we're on Developer Preview 3, I feel like we need to cement some predictions up on the whiteboard so that when it does get named, we can see who wins.
Oh, so we've got to commit to our decisions.
I think you need to commit. I think we need to commit tonight. That's my plan.
Well, okay. I will. Well, there's the obvious ones, right? Like I feel like we keep hearing pie.
Yes.
Pie is a big one, and that makes a lot of sense. Like I could totally see the pie shaped like an Android figure or something.
But so the question is, there's so many varieties of pie. Will they get specific? Yeah. Will it be like a pecan pie?
Oh, that would be even better.
Oh, alliteration.
Yeah. That's catchy. Or do they go the brand? Do they go Pop Rocks or Pop Tarts?
Wow, I didn't even think of that.
Or Pocky.
Pocky, yeah.
Or so last night I went to a restaurant and they had a creme brulee with poppycock, which I was like, well, what the heck is that? But it's basically caramel popcorn. Mm-hmm. It's a brand of caramel popcorn.
Poppycock.
That sounds like a branding mistake.
Yeah, that would be weird. Yes. But I will say creme brulee with poppycock was delicious. Anyways.
Do they go with like a beloved like Kleenex like brand of or name, something like a popsicle?
Oh, popsicle. Oh, I could totally see that.
Yeah.
Wait, a popsicle is totally already the Android guy, right? Like if it's the two things with the legs down at the bottom, then you just have to throw some.
We already had ice cream sandwich.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to that. That's probably why it seems.
What about like praline? That sounds kind of sophisticated. Praline, or is that going to be too obscure, like nougat?
Or pralines and cream.
Europe would love that.
Yeah.
Europe would also love pizzelle.
Wait a minute. Is this now? Are we into entrees, or is that a dessert?
Pizzelle is an Italian waffle cookie.
Oh,
it's a dessert. Yeah, it's a dessert.
Ooh. Oh, that's what I was thinking of, and also purettes. I want to say like the little round cookies.
Oh, pirouettes. Yeah, those the chocolate inside. Those are great. If we want to go Italian, if we want to go Mediterranean, I have to put in I can't even pronounce it, but profiterole.
Profiteroles.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Oh,
so good.
Ooh, I'm gonna go look at pictures of that right now.
That's gonna be hard for people to pronounce.
Dessert porn.
Profiteroles would be hard for some of the people out there to pronounce, but then so was nougat, whatever you want to call it.
All right. Well, we can't do this all night. I'm ready to make my pick.
Oh man, I'm gonna
lock mine in. I'll go first. I'm going to say parfait.
Parfait.
Oh, that'd be a cute Android character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. All right.
All right. Flo, what do you think?
I mean, I know this is lame, but not lame or whatever, but pecan pie.
Yeah, or pie or something. I mean, Oreo was the early. I feel like there were a lot of people bandying about Oreo cookie, and myself included, shooting it down, going they wouldn't do the branded thing again. And besides, they'd never confirm it way ahead of time, and look what happened exactly.
Yep.
So
now we've been eating Oreos weekly for the last.
We are basically 1/4 Oreo at this point after this whole experience.
You can't predict what they're going to do. Nobody would have saw nougat coming.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I wish nougat had not happened. It was not very fun to eat. But anyways, what do you think?
I really like pecan pie because alliteration. I think it's got a nice ring to it, but I want to go with profiterole. Just because it's got a nice like rhythm to it. I like it.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want a cream puff?
Elegant.
No.
I just want to hear everybody trying to stumble over it like me. Profiterole. All right, Jason.
I don't know. I mean, I pie would be the obvious way to go.
What about peanut brittle?
Peanut brittle would be interesting, but I don't know. I don't see that happening. What about pancake?
All right.
Oh, God. Are they going to pull an IHOB?
Oh, no.
Good point. You know what? I reserve the right to change my mind because I haven't actually given this true thought, but I'm going with pancake today because that would be a cool one.
I like that. A stack of pancakes is an Android statue.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
I'm really hoping they just announce this tomorrow so that these are our entries. But yes, we can revisit these and you can change them up until. So.
All right. For now, we've locked parfait, pecan pie, profiterole, and pancake. It's a whole lot of alliteration. Mac and Josh, it's time for you to roll the email bumper.
We have an email bumper?
I just wanted to see you jump. We don't have an email bumper.
Nice.
You did jump, by the way.
You did. I'm so sorry, Josh.
I did.
That was great.
Jason. You did. You
Oh,
went,
boy. Now I feel like a jerk. You totally did jump. You're awesome, Josh. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that, except I did. I suck. Ron, you do not suck. It is
Nobody
time for
sucks.
You to go.
It's okay. We're all just joshing each other here.
It's time for me to go, Jason. I've been voted off.
Yes.
All right, guys.
Where's the power on this TV?
For those watching at home, for those listening at home, this is a visual gag where Jason just turned my TV off because he said it was time for me to go.
All right, I think I turned it back on.
Wait, will he come back on? Did you?
I hope so.
I don't want to go because
Oh no, he's been replaced.
No, I don't want to go.
No. You're back. All
right, good.
We've invited you back.
We're doing email, which is always exciting. So, even though Jason, there I am. There I'm back. Okay.
So I just have to say real quick, in a matter of like 4 minutes, I think I pissed everybody off in this studio. I insulted Josh by making him jump for something that didn't exist. Alex had to get up and stop drinking his coffee because he thought I broke the TV. And then when the TV didn't turn back on, I saw Burke's face in the door giving me a grimace because he thought he had to help out. I'm really sorry, everybody.
And you work here full time.
Yes.
So.
Yes. I don't mean to rock. I don't mean to rock the boat, you guys.
God.
And then, of course, I think the other major thing to talk about is the Galaxy Home, because, of course, Samsung's going to get into the Home Assistant thing, and they have Bixby. They made some announcements about Bixby getting smarter, less focused on just device control, more focused on being an actual all-around voice assistant. And then they announced the the Galaxy Home. With a focus on sound. It's a very unique design, but I'm assuming that they didn't have these in the event where you were at. But what did you think about this and kind of the unveiling of all these speakers in the room making all the sound that you heard?
They had 160 of them on stage, and hearing that amount of sound pumped into a space the size of the Barclays Center, wherever we were, was pretty impressive. But the very first thing I thought was like, well, yeah, if you put a bunch of Home Maxes up here, I'd probably hear the same thing. I don't know. The notion of something powered by Bixby, I think, will be pretty compelling if you have a Samsung household in a year or so. But it's so bad. In my experience, the Bixby software is. They pointed out it is not final on the Note 9. It won't be final until, I think, launch day. But, I was standing in a Dunkin' Donuts, to bring it back to Dunks. I asked it what the closest Dunkin' Donuts was. It pointed me to one 2.7 miles away. It got me lost on the way to a convenience store, and then it told me it didn't understand wake me up at 8 a.m. I know it's not final, but geez, guys, right? And then you want me to buy a speaker that uses that as its brain. For me, it's not. I don't really like it.
Yeah. I hate to tell you, but we have one in studio.
Oh, what?
What? Oh, look at that. There it is. Yep.
There it is. You can see it's authentic. It has AKG labeling on the front.
Oh, yeah. All metal.
There it is.
Isn't it beautiful? This is actually a grill. And actually, I think on the inside, is this an Echo Dot or what is this? I don't even know what this is, but
here's the great thing about the Twit crew is that the reliance on prop comedy is just amazing. Wait, is that Echo Dot tied down with USB cables?
Well, it's taped in there. I
mean, this is taped. I thought it was taped in USB cables.
This is top quality design here. You can tell because of the threading of the tape around the grill. But yeah, this is probably almost as good. No,
almost certain.
Sorry, I had to do it.
It was great.
Let's see. Victor, I told you before the show that I was going to look for something pretty important, and I don't know if this qualifies, but I think we have some breaking news.
When I say I want, you say pie. I want pie. I want pie.
Gosh, we got Teen Titans in there.
I don't know.
Our
I feel like
demographic
there's
is
some copyright implications there.
It was less than 10 seconds.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, let's see, if I could do this short enough, it could qualify as fair use, right?
You really are going after the millennials for the show.
Look, okay, so on one hand, there's a lot of pie songs, but on the other hand, there's not a lot of pie songs that work with like the breaking news. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
And gosh, who sent that in? I should have noted the name of this person. Somebody emailed it. I'll look for it. Anyways, it was like the song is made for this segment. So anyways, we're probably going to get taken down.
You couldn't use Sherry Pie by Warren.
No, well, I feel like that one would be identified just as equally. And
I know, yeah, you're right.
And the video just didn't feel right. The video just didn't feel right for this show. But.
And if you watch enough of the teen
for breaking news, also.
What's that?
If you watch enough of the Teen Titans Go, sorry. If you watch enough of the Teen Titans Go show,
yeah.
Sometimes you really think it is written for us.
Oh, okay. So they wanted
us.
us to do this. Then,
yeah,
is what you're saying.
I'm saying our age group, but yeah.
Okay.
Teen Titans is the Animaniacs of 2018.
Yes,
I'm slightly scared. I will be honest, but yeah. Hey, we'll see. If I have to not use that thing, it's fine. I can figure something else out.
Listen, I've gotten this far of infringing copyright by singing other people's songs.
Yeah, but it's not actually the other person's song that's playing through your mouth,
It's not. No, it really is not. As much as I try.
It's short enough. That's what I'm hanging my coat on right now. It's short enough. I think it'll qualify as fair use. But
sure, that'll work.
We'll certainly see. But it's not breaking news at all. I just wanted a reason to play it.
It's time. It's that time of year where we have to.
Yeah, we have to justify.
Yeah.
If you go to datastudio.google.com, you can find Android projections, which is a neat little graph that reminds me of a graph that a viewer, who was that? Tyler Hilliard sent us a couple of years ago that we've been referring to kind of track Android version numbers and where they sit in comparison with other versions as far as like how quickly they proliferate and everything. Well, Google's doing this. I don't know how long they've been doing this, but they're tracking it as well, obviously, and just thought I'd kind of point that out. It's an interesting way to visualize Android, and it really reminded me of the work that Tyler did.
I love this kind of data stuff. This data visualization stuff is so cool.
Yeah.
And look at that pie chart. Seriously, but look at that pie graph, though. That's crazy.
The pie chart.
But
pie's,
right?
Yeah.
Pie's skyrocketing.
Yeah. So here, this is basically saying at this stage, would it be this stage? Because I feel like it just launched. Like I guess I'm still trying to figure out.
Right. No, I mean it's
far and away above. This says 40.7%, but what the heck does that mean? But it's not on 40.7% of devices.
Is that projected? It's projected based off it just came out a week, so that's got to be projected.
Maybe at the rate that it's going. I don't know. Whatever this pie
graph.
Whatever this graph means that I can't read, it makes pie look really good. So let's hope that Google knows what it's doing.
You just need some whipped cream for that.
Yeah, just top it with a little whipped cream, maybe a cherry on top.
Yeah,
a cherry pie. Update. All right. Anyways, maybe some folks can head over to datastudio.google.com. Let us know what we're looking at. Send us an email and set us straight. I would appreciate it. This is the final final Oreo tasting. I think now we know that the next wave is pie.
Now officially, are we all on pie right now? By the way,
I'm running pie on my Pixel. Yes.
Not on Oxygen. I'm on the OnePlus 6.
Oh yes, that's right.
Has not been pied yet.
He's
no pie in Ron's face.
He's on another planet. Different benefits, but it's working.
That's what happens.
It's okay. It's okay. Still, if we eat pie, even if you're not on pie, I think the rules are you can still eat pie. So there's that. But so this is the last Oreo tasting.
Let's do it. And
we've eaten a lot of Oreos, and this time we saved.
we're going out with a golden anniversary with golden Oreos.
Maybe one of the more boring flavors that there is.
Well,
but
if you're not like one of my friends at work isn't a big chocolate guy.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who don't like chocolate.
Oh my God.
Okay, that's true.
My heart's already hurting looking at that.
Here, would you?
So these are like.
Would you like it, Joshua? Here, have it.
I wish.
Have it. I'm going to the camera. It's really hard because it's above me. Have it.
This is what happens when I can't make it into the studio for once.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be eating if you were here. All right, golden Oreos around the horn. Final Oreo
Around
tasting.
the horn.
And this is it. Sorry, I normally do this to kind of show you what's inside.
If you like graham crackers, this could be the flavor for you.
Is it a graham cracker cookie? Is that what it is?
I feel like it, or it's a vanilla cookie kind of.
The filling is spilling out.
The filling is spilling.
Is it that hot in San Francisco right now?
No.
It's not actually.
Yeah, it's actually.
I don't think it's a graham cracker, but it's a vanilla cookie.
Yeah, vanilla cookie. Yep.
I
mean,
that's not too bad.
Yeah, I mean it's the next classic
cookie.
flavor.
It's delicious.
You know, behind the original, it's the secondary classic flavor.
Someone get me a cup of hot cocoa. I want the crumbs of this at the bottom.
Yeah.
I was about to say, joke's on you guys because I'm the one with the hot liquid over here.
It's been real, little hand. We've had a lot of fun. You taking these Oreo cookies away from me.
Thumb ring.
You you know what's up, little hand. You take these cookies and you eat the whole package, all right? All right, you enjoy yourself there.
What has happened to this show?
Yeah, it's been a while. We've changed a lot since the last time you were on, Joshua.
It's been a while.
Yeah, would be good with a nice cup of coffee.
It would.
You know,
a mochaccino.
Oh, mochaccino.
I enjoyed it.
Mochaccino.
Yeah,
I as I'm getting older, I'm embracing vanilla as a flavor. I feel like it's a more refined. As a kid, it's easy to go for chocolate because it's sweet and all that fun stuff. But yeah, this is quite good.
I will always be team chocolate. I mean, I've been standing for chocolate since the day I came out of the womb.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, but you're still young. So when you get more,
I appreciate that. Thank you, Ron.
We'll
Thank you.
Become more refined.
Compliment.
I refuse to give this a point score because this is the last one. I'm going to give it a thumb ring up.
Oh, I'm also going to give it a thumb ring up.
I'm sure.
I'm going to join you with a thumb ring up. I don't have a ring, but I have a ring in my heart.
All right.
So.
Good enough. 3 thumb rings up, and that I don't know if I've ever eaten as many Oreos as I have this past year.
I can't believe we did this.
Yeah.
And you know what?
What? I don't know what.
You know what? Oreo still hasn't reached out to us.
Yeah, it's true.
It's been
I know. Has it gotten to them? Do you think they're aware?
plus showings or whatever.
I don't know if it got around to them. I don't know if we have that. I don't think we have Nabisco poll. We're doing okay in the smartphone world, but when it comes to snacks and stuff, I think that's just we're not on their radar.
We got to have one of these, companies just show up for us.
We need Petaluma Pie Company to sponsor this episode or this show for the next year.
That is a great
I
idea.
don't know if I can eat a year's worth of pie.
I don't know.
I love
think
pie.
That
Don't
would
get me wrong.
I think that would actually. I mean, I don't know. We could do savory pies and sweet pies.
True.
We could do. I don't want to do pizza pies because I feel like pizza pies are.
However, here's the wrinkle.
Oh, boy.
Here's the wrinkle. With Oreos, it's pretty straightforward, right? Like it's a crispy cookie. You go off mic, you eat the cookie. It's pretty easy to shield people from having to hear that lip smacking stuff. When you're talking about pies, it's kind of slurpy. Yeah. It's kind of sloppy, especially if you get away from the dessert and you go towards things like pizza. Like it's going to get gross really fast. Yes, right.
It's like crystallized water, apple juice at the bottom.
Like you almost need a straw.
Good,
yeah.
But it's
the show's going to become some weird ASMR
Yes,
thing.
exactly.
I mean, anything for the hits, right?
It's going to be on Reddit top post like I found a new source of ASMR and it's all about Android when they taste
all about ASMR,
pie.
baby.
So maybe it's not a good idea. We'll toy around with it though.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll eat some pie here and there, but I don't think we're doing a full year.
But we can't.
I can't do a full year. I just can't do it.
We can't.
I was up for the challenge.
I know, but you're over there.
Fine.
Leo is even up for the challenge. He was like, make it happen, do it. I'm like, I just don't know if I can.
Hang on, wait a minute. Let's see. Pie of the Month Club. So there is a Pie of the Month club.
Oh goodness.
So once a month, now that
Is it
I
Marie
could probably
calendars?
Right. For $40 a month, you can get a pie sent to you.
$40?
So
80? Yeah.
Okay, when you're talking
$80
cost,
is a
I
lot
mean,
of money. Or $40 is a lot of money.
That's relatively comparable to a lot of the Oreo cookies that I had to buy $10 per week.
Oh yeah, because you bought
because I had to buy the kind of flavors that were expired.
Special.
So special order.
What is this month's pie though?
It doesn't say what this month's pie is.
So it's always a surprise, maybe.
Yeah.
But
you do get the Pie Lovers newsletter, which is titled "A Slice of Heaven."
Ah, that's good. Slice of Heaven. They should really work surprise into their copy. Surprise. Okay.
I would also like to note that my wife just texted me, let's please not join the Pie of the Month Club.
The lid is off on the Pixel 3 and Pixel 3 XL, apparently, possibly. Really, let's just talk about the fact that a Ukrainian-based company apparently got a hold of a number of stolen Pixel 3 XLs, which you may have seen surfacing across the internet this last week because it's definitely been a bustle in my Twitter feed. So apparently, this Ukrainian-based company was selling these units for $2,000 a pop via an elaborate Telegram setup that included a pickup in London, England. Isn't that fun? A nice visit to jolly old England to pick up a faux phone. No word on how many units they had for sale, but it seems to have been a lot just based off of what is tracking on the internet. All uniform in the configuration and color of devices sold. Full reviews were popping up in a number of Russian and Ukrainian sites alleging this to be like the real thing. There were high quality video unboxings about this sort of thing. And I know some, I did see some news sources pick it up as, hot stuff. There are already photo shootouts using the unit to take pictures, because that's the thing that we're definitely looking at now in these phones. And all aspects have been revealed, including full packaging, which really lent to the credence of the idea that these were the real thing.
What do you think? I'm detecting a little skepticism on your part. Do you think these are the real thing or not? What do you think?
I don't think they're the real thing. No, I think
you
these
don't
are fake.
think these are the real thing?
No, I don't.
Wow.
I don't.
Interesting. God, how could they not be?
I guess I don't have a very good reason for why I don't think they're fake, other that I do not believe that.
You don't think they're real? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe that this Ukrainian site was. First of all, it feels too far from like where the phones are made. Just to be in all honesty, like how do they get from China to Ukraine?
Well, the same way they get from China to here.
Okay, yeah, I get it, through a box, but
well, no, but I mean, like the distance from China to Ukraine is no different than the distance to China. Like
it's true, but I don't know. It just okay. I'm making that up, but in all actuality,
I mean, these are fake. They're very. I mean, well, I don't know. That Team Pixel elaborate thing looks weird. I mean, but I was gonna say some of them. It's a very elaborate fakery. I mean, even down to the Google Home Mini. Like that's a nice touch. It's yeah.
Well, it is a nice touch, but anybody could add that in there.
Okay, but if it's fake, it's very well orchestrated. Yeah. Why? What is the point? Views on YouTube? If so, yes. This is a long ways to go for a couple of 100,000 views on YouTube. And I'm not saying that these are real. Like no one really knows. It's very bizarre. If these are real, this has to go down in one of the biggest kind of like pre-announcement leaks ever. Because I mean, like you said, the lid is off on this sucker. If this is real, we literally know everything about this phone. And
right, no, this is a leak unlike we've ever seen before. Right?
Feels that way.
True.
I mean, it's on par with the Apple iPhone that was discovered in the bar well in advance of the release, where it was like, and I mean that was probably a step further because that was a prototype unit, and they were going up against Apple, and that's you don't want to go up against Apple. What's weird here is that we're not hearing. Are we hearing anything from Google about this? There's no takedowns on this device. On the videos on these devices. Would Google do that if it was legitimate? I'm not sure, but we're not really hearing very much from Google. And I don't know. I would imagine if these were fakes, well, I don't know. It's so confusing. It's so confusing, this whole situation.
I mean, that's a great point, because if they order a takedown, that validates them, right? And if they haven't done that, then does that disvalidate them? And or are they thinking, okay, well, if we do that, that'll tip our hands, so let's just leave it be and ignore it?
Yeah,
I don't know.
This is a lot of components to fake as well. Like, it's not just the phone; it's also the buds, the what are they called? You've got the wireless ones, the Pixel buds.
The Pixel buds. Yeah.
But these are the wired Pixel buds, supposedly, that are included in the box. So if they're faking this, they faked top to bottom, including a version of Android that looks exactly like Pi. I mean, they faked so many different aspects of this. I find it really hard to believe, but anything's possible, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just don't believe it. I mean, I don't, and not only that, but like $2,000, it just seems, I get it, trying to make money off a leak, but it just seems like too good to be true. It just seems too good to be true.
Look at that.
Wow.
Well,
that's my skepticism for you. I'm sorry, that's where I'm at.
No, don't be sorry. I love it, because I hadn't even considered it. I just assumed it was real.
This is probably.
Go ahead, Ron.
Then after you. Go.
I was just going to say, it's just that we're living in this era of, we really want to have these devices to show off on the internet, to be like the first person to sort of show these off. I could see some dealer trying to take advantage of that in a sense. So I'm very skeptical that it's real, but I guess I will be proven wrong or right when the Pixel is eventually announced.
Like, my brain automatically goes to, I don't know if you guys remember, and Flo, this may have been before the time that you were on the show. This may have been Eileen era, but there was someone that brought on a bunch of knockoff, like, Note clone phones, and they were made to look like Note phones, bought overseas somewhere, but they were so obviously not. Like, when you went into the OS, or some of them looked like iPhones, and they were so clearly not when you really dove in. These, just like every aspect of it is believable, and seems to pair up with the rumors that we've heard so far also. So if these are in fact counterfeit, man, bravo to whoever did them, because they did a really good job. Like, they know how to counterfeit. Not to give someone props for faking something like that, but it's really an impressive feat if that's the case. Before we kind of jump into things, I thought I put a link next to Ron's name up at the top, because Ron met a celebrity this past week, and if you don't follow him on Instagram, then you probably didn't notice that Ron actually met the Chewbacca. The one and only.
I was at work, and someone said, "Hey, Chewie's here to see you," and so I had to go say hello to Chewie as he was stopping by. He was promoting his latest movie, which was exciting. Yeah, exactly.
However Chewbacca would sound. Like, hi, Chewie.
It was. I was glad I went to work that day. Little surprises that could turn around every corner. So
no kidding, no kidding. It's a little intimidating. I ain't gonna lie. Seeing Chewbacca in person.
I'm not short. I mean, I'm at least 5'11", 6 foot on a good day. And
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, Chewie's got some height, that's for sure. But listen, Chewie is all about Android. He's on board.
Oh, really?
No, I don't know. I can't see Chewie using an iPhone. Actually, they don't have cell phones in a galaxy far away. So
yeah, I personally, I can't see Chewie using a touchscreen phone of any sort, like with his hairy fingers. I just don't think it would work.
Can we go back to that real quickly, Victor? Because I don't often look at the comments actually, but I saw that Robert D. Seals wrote, "Wow, Jason needs a shave."
Jeez, thanks, Robert.
And that was pretty funny.
I didn't even notice that. Thanks, Robert. You got my back, and I appreciate it.
Yeah. So last week we talked about the Google Play points possibly coming out. There was a APK teardown, all that fun stuff. Well, now it's a thing in Japan. So basically, a point will be awarded for every 100 yen, which is around 90 cents, that users spend on apps and games. Those can be used on in-app purchases or converted to Google Play credit. Higher levels are possible as users progress with greater payouts, and it's likely much like Inbox was for Gmail, that Japan is the testing ground for this and is going to roll out to other regions in the future. Rose, do you think that a loyalty program in the Google Play Store is what we've been missing in our lives?
I'm a pretty big Google Play Store buyer. I have different subscriptions. I buy different apps. I probably spend more than the average person on the Google Play Store. So to me, this is great. This is in Canada, we have this thing called Canadian Tire money.
What does that mean?
I'm trying to bring this back, but I'm like, I shouldn't have mentioned a Canadian thing. Canadian Tire money is so popular in Canada. It's this, great reward system before digital reward systems were a thing, where you got physical fake money, and every child in Canada knows what it is, and it's so cool. And maybe one day every child will know about the Google Play Points system. I think it's fun. I think it makes a lot of sense for Google, driving more spending in Google Play, and I personally would look forward to it.
Canadian Tire money officially. I'd never heard of this before.
I'd never heard of it either.
So Canadian Tire, the company, Canadian Tire.
That's right.
Canadian Tire money. I was like, what is Canadian Tire money? Is this money made out of tires in Canada? But it's a loyalty program operated by the retail chain.
It is. And it looks like real money. And I swear to goodness, it is the most fun thing as a kid, and for dads and kids. That's where Canadian Tire money is really popular.
So you can go into Canadian Tire with your Canadian Tire money and buy tires?
You can, yes.
Okay.
You're making this sound silly, but it's
I'm just trying to understand.
Heritage.
and it actually has value. Well, I guess it has value at Canadian Tire.
But it's all like 5 cents and like 50 cents. It takes a long time to build up that money.
It's
this to say, I'm into it.
Okay.
I'm into this Google Play Points store.
That's just that's an angle of Canadian lore that I knew nothing about. I'm happy that I do.
Never stagnant and always innovating. Here's Android news.
Ooh.
Well, maybe innovating.
Contextual, Victor. I love it.
Very contextual.
I was prepared this week.
Nice.
Nicole, we are, of course, referring to an article that you wrote recently titled Why a Stagnant Smartphone Market is Leading to Innovation. And so we kind of wanted to sit down with you a little bit and talk about it, because we've been in this whirlwind of just phones coming out the last couple of weeks, new hardware, and it just kind of seems like a little more of the same, but for some reason it doesn't feel like a bad thing. So I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit.
Well, there's so many launches that have happened, and we all sit there, and I kind of got tired of everyone being like, this is innovative. I'm like, is a fingerprint sensor in a display innovative? No. The word innovative actually started meaning when we invented light or electricity, when we turned day into night. You know what I mean? If you really think about what this word means, it really means something that is really game changing. And we've just started saying, okay, this iteration, that means innovation. The fact that anything's improved means that it's innovative. And I disagree with that just because I really feel things are improving, but it's just the ecosystem that's changing, right? The smartphone now exists in something with the Google Home, and it's all about how we're accessing our information and where. It's no longer I think the hardware's kind of gotten good enough to a point where I think we can kind of say, okay, sweet, we have a great phone. Now let's move past the nuanced technical detail of how it works, which was so important because it was limiting. But now the hardware is no longer limiting, and I think we should be changing the discussion to, okay, here's how we're using our devices in a meaningful way that's changing my life. Maybe that's innovative. So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's.
Nicole, I think you're spot on with this. I mean, this is something that I've complained about and struggled with over the years, and that the smartphone revolution of 2007 or so, first with the iPhone and then followed by Android, really did change. It changed the world. I mean, now you look around and you see people on the subway looking at their phones, and there are people who are just doing business on their phones. The things that you could do on your phones have evolved and changed so much, but I like to think about it of other innovations, and like a major invention that changed the world around us was the automobile, right? All of a sudden, you didn't have to rely on a horse or your own 2 feet. You could travel long distances in a shorter amount of time, and you just had this like amazing invention of an automobile that was truly innovative. And then you have 40 years of, okay, let's add power locks. Let's add a radio. Let's add continuing to iterate, but we haven't seen true innovation until the electric car or the hybrid.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
And so like in terms of like product development and adoption and stuff like that, you fall into this stagnant thing where, okay, we figured out the walls of the room we're in. Now what can we do to make the room that much better? And I'm just waiting for the next big thing. Like in my lifetime, I've seen computers change the world. I've seen the internet change the world. I've seen phones change the world. I want something else to truly innovate. But my hopes are right now they're dashed on Samsung and their foldable phone, but that's about it.
So where is the innovation? Like, if there is any innovation, if there are any strides being made, Nicole, in your opinion, like where is it being made? Is it mostly in hardware? Is it mostly in software? Is it going to be an amalgamation of the two, or do we just need like a new product category to shake things up?
I think it's so I think that we're not going to see that next big thing moment. I just feel like that's not going to come anytime soon, just because the next big thing for me will be how our devices exist within the ecosystem. So like smart city, like e-mobility, like car sharing, like all of these really cool concepts are the ones that are going to be the way that are going to be the things that significantly change our life. And because they're so real world impacted, I think it's going to be slow. Like we're not going to have that aha moment of like, we have a press conference and then boom, it's there, right? I think that moment isn't going to be anytime soon. But like figuring out which IoT standards we have so that we can have more meaningful smart devices around us, that's so boring. But like maybe that's the interesting thing to watch. It's so boring though.
Well, I think it. I mean, Flo, I think it's the crossroads of the hardware with the software. I mean, this is like what my main takeaway from the Google event was that as exciting, and we're going to talk about your thoughts about the various new Google products that came out later in the show. But the most exciting thing for me from that event was the crossroad between these devices with the crazy AI and the amazing computing power that Google brings to it. It was the software.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's ultimately that's why I decided to upgrade to the Pixel 3 and just do it, because I wanted all that new stuff. Yeah, that's not for everybody. Nicole, going back to phones, I mean, we've got all these new phones to choose from now, and like a couple more coming out apparently. Is there a reason to be upgrading these days? Like, what do you think?
I think that there is a reason to upgrade if your device is more than a year old. Definitely. But I think that this season of smartphone releases has really proven that we've gotten to a point with our smartphones that things are dedicated devices for specific purposes, like the Note 9 for business with the pen, right? So if you're this specific kind of user, this is the kind of phone. The Razer Phone 2, if you're super into gaming, right? Huawei's hitting like a pretty like meaty in the middle category, but they're definitely after people who are into photography. So like it's like, well, what do you need from your device? And now it's about just identifying like what your wants and needs are, and not so much about like, well, which is the best one? Like I think that like the best one is now relative, because the hardware's gotten to that point where we can just be like kind of self-indulgent and choosy.
Are we kind of like at peak innovation in the sense that now companies are just more focused on building ecosystems around us instead of just trying to wow us? They're like, what more can we pile on the things that we've already sold to you, so to speak?
Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, like we're seeing like Samsung and LG change their narratives to like be smart things, right? Like it's now about like how everything fits into an ecosystem, which isn't as exciting because it's so much more difficult to explain to people like, okay, now this thing will change the way that you live. Hold on. It's coming. Like, remember that last time when it was like really terrible and it was awful? It's not like that time. It's like new this time. Trust us. Like, so it's difficult to get people on board to kind of like be jazzed about like home innovation stuff. Well, like, I guess we'll find out what you think about the Google Hub, but I wasn't like, oh my God, this Lenovo Smart Display just changed the way that I live in my kitchen. It just didn't do that for me, anyways.
But I think that's the area that could potentially have the most potential. I think and maybe also Android Auto. I mean, like kind of how technology fits into places where technology currently doesn't. I mean, as new homes get built, if they're being built with smart lights and smart, kind of all the, with Nest thermostats and all this sort of stuff, does the the Walt Disney home of the future become true? Like that's and I think that's an area of potential growth, maybe.
Nicole, before we move on, is there anything you just kind of want to leave with people from like just the work that you did for this article and just sort of like thinking up, what does innovation mean at this point in time?
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about the word innovation because I've been guilty of telling my team, talk about how this phone's innovative. How is the Note 9 innovative? How is this innovative? How is that? And I'm like, focus on innovation. And I realized that I'm part of the problem, right? Like that I'm writing these articles centered around innovation and how things are changing. But really, now it's just about trying to identify how devices are really useful and how they can really change our lives. Like, I think I'm trying to think about the how more than the what now. And that's kind of a shift that's resulted from like the technical innovation, like not necessarily plateauing, but not being in the same place where that itself leads to understanding how the device is going to impact our use case. So, I've been spending a lot of time with that. And like last week at Samsung's R&D center, they actually went through like what innovation meant, and it was like the washing machine and like home appliances, electricity, radio, and it made me realize I'm like, this is like these things really mean innovation. And like now we just need to like look at the smartphone and Android and try to really imagine like how it's going to impact our lives. And it's not necessarily going to be in that one press conference we're going to have the aha. So like now I think our work as journalists has gotten harder because it's going to be a little bit more about analysis. So
the aha is more subtle these days. Just like
Yeah.
IoT.
But you need to save your money because Samsung's got a new phone that they're going to announce tomorrow. And Flo, you're going to go check this out, right?
Supposedly. I don't have
right.
I'm showing up to the keynote tomorrow and I'm just expecting to be surprised.
Well, what you're going to be surprised by is going to be the upcoming foldable phone.
No way.
And I can't tell you how jealous I am, Flo, that you might be there and I'm not, because this is my moment for Samsung. But an unnamed Samsung official told Reuters that this announcement will be about sharing with their developers their progress on the concept of the foldable phone and will include detailed images of the foldable phone. And tomorrow, Wednesday, November 7th, is going to be officially Foldable Phone Day. It's gonna be like the day that Steve Jobs pulled the iPhone out of his pocket that first time. It's gonna be like the day that we got the Nexus 1 with the little roller ball, or the Nexus 5, the most perfect phone in Android history. It's gonna change everything. The foldable phone is coming. Get on board now.
Wow, you are really pro foldable phone.
It's just so stupid. I love it.
Now, who
we don't
knows?
know. We haven't seen it yet.
Who knows? 5 years, like this could be the Note of now, right?
Yeah.
Like when the Note first came out, we were part of it too. We were making fun of it. Oh man, who would ever want such a large phone? Maybe
everyone.
And the Note has been really successful. The foldable phone idea is not a bad idea. It's just anything that I've seen so far doesn't look very good. But maybe 5 years from now, it's going to be amazing. Who knows?
I agree. I mean, it's going to be the phone that we roll up and we put in our pocket. It's going to be such a different form factor. Enough with the chocolate bar phone. Let's fold it up and move on and have screens on every surface.
Yes, the corner, the edges.
It'd be amazing.
All around, everywhere.
I'm all ready. Listen, you fold your laundry, now fold your phone.
There you go. See? You should work for Samsung.
Samsung's not the only people in the foldable phone game, right? Right, Flo? There are others playing this game.
It's true. So meanwhile, in the midst of all this rumor mongering, which we're going to find out about in like less than, I can't even do the calculations. So meanwhile,
Royale. I don't know.
Royale. That's a quarter pounder with cheese.
I was gonna say Royale cheese. Okay, I'm sorry. Royal Technology last week unveiled they have a foldable tablet product that will be released by the end of the year, and the end of the year is merely weeks away.
Yeah, it is.
So this is called the Royal Flex Pi. It's
This is amazing. Look at this. Oh,
it's a 7.8-inch tablet that can fold into a fold form factor. It's got a 2.8 gig octa-core Snapdragon processor in there. Foldable AMOLED display at a 1920 by 1440 resolution when unfolded.
Okay,
it's also got a 3800 milliamp battery on the inside there. And it's got 128 gigs of storage for your things and 6 gigs of RAM as the base, which is a very OnePlus move. You can also upgrade to 256 gigs of storage and do 8 gigs of RAM if you really want like all that throttle. And the base model will run about nearly 9,000 yuan, which is about 1,300 USD, which
is the same price as the red phone.
Yeah. So which one? What do you want, folks?
So I was also trying to think of which iPad it would be priced against.
Oh boy. That's a good comparison.
Because those are like the tablets I think of.
Yeah.
Sorry.
While you look it back up, and Mac and Josh, if you can put that video back up. Those of you listening to the show in the audio podcast format, I understand. Note this time code, and when you get back to a computer, go to the video version of this episode and watch the GIF or the video or whatever that we're showing on the screen right now of the tablet being folded and then being used. And it just looks wonderfully ridiculous. It looks like someone in the chat room was saying this is like the Costanza wallet. And this is truly what it looks like. It looks like an oversized wallet. Like it's just I love it so much. And if anyone wants to make me happy this holiday, buy me this tablet, please.
Oh, who wouldn't want this tablet? Just for history.
Why do you need to fold this?
Yeah.
I want to know how that display goes back to being flat after being folded. That just looks.
I believe it does. If you can scroll down, Macintosh, on the thing, it shows the photos. It looks like the hinge on a Surface.
Yeah.
Right, like that rubbery kind of thing. Like so, I do believe it folds back flat. I think they've cracked the ability to make it foldable. What they're not accounting for is the 1.5 inch space between both sides when it is folded.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you could launch a spaceship through that gap there.
Called the fold gap.
Yeah, the fold gap. Yeah. And does the screen pucker at all? This is an open question because I feel like we've seen this foldable idea before months ago, and then when it was flattened and the display was not lit up, we noticed that the display itself kind of had like a wavy, puckery quality to. I hate the word pucker, by the way.
That is not a verb I was thinking of with regard to these foldable phones, but I guess that is a good thing to take into consideration. Will it pucker up?
Yeah, does it pucker? Will it pucker?
Will it pucker?
Oh my God.
What a horrible name. What a horrible word.
It's not when you talk about kissing, but when you talk about tablets, it's a little different.
Oh, jeez. Oh, Flo.
What?
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
That's how I usually use it in that context. Just, pucker up.
Flow.
But it's true. This is a consideration. Hopefully Samsung has cracked the pucker problem. Yeah. Hopefully so. We only have to wait until tomorrow to see if Samsung has done that.
It's true. The keynote is at 10 a.m. I'm going to be there tweeting and snapping photos. So just follow me on Twitter.
Oh, cool.
I'll probably write something up about it at my website.
Okay. Yes, definitely follow That Flow on Twitter to see. Hopefully they have this in person and you can see it. That would be great. That would be best case scenario.
My fear is that, so they actually said the show floor will be open on Thursday, but I have to get my teeth cleaned. So tomorrow or nothing.
Well, we won't have to wait long to find out. And if you see it, take pictures.
Yes.
I've been looking forward to this all day because I set something up here I've got a special.
You brought it.
Yeah, I've got a special thing. I literally worked for like a couple hours this morning on this, and the deeper I got in it, the more I was like, oh man, this is gonna be so much fun. I'm gonna lead a game show with you guys. I promise it's not gonna be awkward. It is called Hot or Not Hardware Edition.
Whoa, you really cranked up the heat.
This is very on with the times.
Wow. Wait a minute. So the fact that there's a bumper for this, are we going to do this more than just today?
I don't know. I didn't know that there was going to be a bumper.
It is the 400th episode. Come on, we have to put out some of the stops.
No, it's great. Yeah, no, it's much better than the Goat Shack one.
Victor, you made it happen.
Did anyone else get triggered? Like their dad would be yelling at them if they touched the thermostat?
Good work, Victor.
Good work,
that
Victor.
Was awesome. All right, so this is Hot or Not Hardware Edition, and this is basically how it's going to work. I'm going to read each of you. We'll kind of go in order. Everybody gets a new question or a new piece of hardware. I'm going to start with one of you and read a short blurb about a particular device. All right? Can you guess it? I'm sure you probably will.
Is it a blurb one of us said, or is this the blurb about the device?
No, it's just about the device.
Okay, all right. I thought you were going to throw our comments back in our face.
If you can't, or even if you do, we'll show a picture of it because it's always fun to look at a picture of things. And then you can guess. If you hadn't guessed it, I'm pretty sure you'll guess it at that point. And then at the end of that, I'm going to ask you, is it hot or not? And you, the person that I am asking, you have to tell us what you think. Is that device hot or is it not? And why do you say that?
All right. I love it.
All right.
Good job, Jason.
So, Victor, you have the secret doc, right? All right, with the links in it. All right, so I'm just going to start at the very top. Here is the first device, and we're going to start with you, Chad, because you're over there.
Okay.
All right.
No pressure.
Released, yes, and I know some of these are going to be super easy, but whatever. Released in November 2009, this device is credited as mainstreaming the term droid. Geeks knew of it as shoals. It was free of moto blur, thankfully.
Now, do I need to guess the device or say if it's hot or not?
No. So first of all, you're going to guess the device. What device is it?
This is the original Droid, the flip out with the keyboard.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, the Batman color scheme. I owned this phone. I owned this phone for 2 years. This is my first smartphone ever.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. I happen to.
You still have it?
There's a bag of physical props here, people.
Whoa.
Oh.
Wow.
Look at it.
That click that thing makes is the most satisfying keyboard slide click.
Right now, we might not have it because I think we're out of inputs. So.
There it is.
Wow.
Just hold that up to the mic and just slide and click that thing all around because God, it's so good.
Good click.
The ASMR right now is off the charts.
That's some good. Man, I forgot how good a physical keyboard is.
So, bonus factoid: the Droid in the U.S. had an unlockable bootloader. The Milestone, its international counterpart, had a locked bootloader, but that was no match for rooters. Anyways, they defeated it. So, Chad, I ask you, Motorola Droid, the original, is it hot or not, and why?
That thing is so hot. I remember blowing Brian Brushwood's mind when I showed him the PPI of that screen. And still to this day, it is one of the highest resolution screens. Like, I mean, now we blow it away with Retina and whatnot. Yeah. But still, super crisp screen, headphone jack. This also introduced the first of the GPS apps, the navigation apps. And that was mind-blowing. Yeah. I forget which version of Android that was. And you could rotate it landscape to do like a legit TomTom style GPS. This thing is hot today, and it was hot back then. This thing is so hot.
Yeah,
so good.
It continues to be hot. It's hot in Ron's hands right now.
I don't want to get everybody excited, but it has a 5-megapixel camera on the back.
That's a big deal about that. Everything else is VGA.
Look, I feel like Jason. Right. I feel like Jason with the
yes, I know. With every phone. That's me with like the Note.
I held it up to my OnePlus, and it's like it's so small. Look at that. It's crazy.
All right, we've got a lot of phones here, so we're going to move along. Brian, I did not think about who would get what. Okay. This might be a little bit of a challenge for you. All right. Codenamed Multi, this 2017 or 2017 dual screen phone folds two 5.2-inch 1080p LCD panels outward still has a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, even when everyone else is abandoning them, and lights up a single screen, which when it's folded into phone mode. It's a little bit of a challenging one, I realize.
Yeah, I haven't been following as closely to like the outside. Android
I'm a
phone.
co-host and I don't know the answer to this.
Yeah,
I know this one.
I knew that you would, Flo. I knew that you would.
It's got to be something weird, so think about that.
Flow written all over it.
There's only one phone that I can remember you having that was dual screen. It was a Sony.
Okay.
That was a while
not
ago.
This
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
You could buy these in AT&T stores, really, for $725. That doesn't help. Okay. Steps. The next step is to show you the device.
Okay.
Which does this help?
What on earth?
What?
Does this help?
Oh man,
That looks very Sony.
Yeah.
Do you have one of these in your
Try
bag?
another
No,
country.
I don't have one of these in my bag.
Do you want to call a friend? Do you want to call a friend?
You can call a
Do you
friend.
want to call a friend in
Flo.
Romania?
Lifeline, and I'll go to Flo in Romania, please.
Flo.
That would be the ZTE Axon M.
Ding, 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 ding.
that
That's
was-
exactly what it was.
It was on the tip of your
Right on my
tongue.
tongue.
I could
I was gonna
see
go
you
for it.
about to say ZTE, but you weren't sure of yourself. I could tell.
All right, so Brian, based on what you know about the ZTE Axon M, and
Yeah.
of course the spectacular view, the shot of it, is this hot or not?
You don't get feathers like that every day.
That's true. I mean, a PPI on that must be insane.
It's a dual screen phone, Brian.
Yeah, I mean,
just look at that nav bar down there. It's got things I don't even know.
Between the two screens, you know?
Yes.
Yeah,
Is there an M button?
Yes.
There. Why is there an M button? What
no
does that
idea.
do?
So that you could flip
Does that have a
modes so that you
dedicated
could do the different-
camera button?
Oh,
is that
weird.
Is that a flash on the front, or does that work as the back?
It's a flash.
Yeah,
Well, you don't know
flip
what the front or the back is.
I can't
It's two
tell.
sides.
That's actually the back of the phone.
Man, I mean, considering I think only one of us guessed what it was, I'm gonna say it was not very hot.
Yeah, I think I might agree. Although Flo might feel differently. You were somewhat
No, it was
positive on this.
not. It was not a good.
Okay.
dual
Not a
screen.
good.
Not a good.
That phone. That's not my kind of phone.
All right, up next, Ron.
Oh, geez. All right, on the spot.
In 2014, you could indeed spend between $10,300 to $50,000 for an Android phone that featured unique triangular edges, stainless steel and leather stylings, and, let's be honest, a quickly outdated version of Android. But hey, Mateo will always appreciate the Macadial options.
And he's going to kill me because I can't remember the name of it. It was the Macadal phone. Oh, it was the Virtu. The Virtu.
Yes.
Oh, come on. Give me
I'm going to give you
that. Thank you.
that. Yeah.
Thank you.
The Virtu.
Oh, I love this phone.
The Virtu Signature Touch.
The original Macadial.
Yes.
Wow.
Limited edition versions included Ferrari and Bentley models. But seriously, who buys these?
Gina, were you on the show when we talked about this one?
I think this is the first time I'm laying eyes on.
Okay,
this
yeah, because was this pre-flow or not? Because these are.
I don't even know this phone.
A micro SD charger? Not micro, mini over there. That
Mini.
red thing?
Yeah, these phones just always perplex me.
There was another like $50,000 gold phone that we covered at some point. I don't think it was this one.
No, I
but
think it's the same phone.
It is
because
the same.
it's
It
the
was a
same
different
phone.
option of
Because
it.
believe it or not, Gina, there aren't many $50,000 phones on the market. So.
Oh no, you sure it wasn't that other one? No, that's a very good point.
No, but there were different flavors of this, and one was gold, and one was like it was like a burgundy and gold kind of combination.
This had a bunch of different
colors
versions
and,
to it.
and this was the Macadal one, which Mateo has just he grabbed onto and has ridden for 8 years now.
It's his thing. It's kind of his thing.
It's fine.
So, Ron,
yes,
the Virtu Signature Touch, is it hot or not, and why?
I mean, I understand that I'm on another planet when it comes to my evaluation of these phones, but with that price tag and that Macadial, it's hot. It has to be hot, right?
It's not quite there. I thought you were going with that, but okay.
I'll give it hot.
Hey, you know what? You're right. No matter how you answer in this part of the questions, you're always right.
If I
Gina,
remember correctly, that thing had a dedicated concierge button.
Yes, you're right. It did
immediately into the concierge.
Totally had a concierge button.
Really?
Good memory. I wish I would have remembered that
Right.
from my extra
That's
factoid
right.
column.
Yeah.
All right, Gina, you are up next. This is this is relatively easy.
Oh wait, do you not have one of these? Do you not have a Virtu in your bag too?
No, I don't. I don't. I wish.
You set the standard very high with this. Now I'm expecting to see
Honestly,
every phone.
I meant to bring. I have a few of the devices from this list at home, and I forgot to bring them. But I did have some here, so I've got a few of them that I can pull out.
All right.
I don't have this one. Gina, the manufacturer, was on top of the world when it released this sleek, gargantuan device that could think big, and people loved it until they had to think about big flames in their pockets.
Oh. I remember the phone that caught fire, but they're all just sort of black rectangles to me. I never remember the model names.
Black
I
rectangles.
don't know. It was the Samsung, was it not?
It's a Samsung. That's a half point, yeah.
Not the Note. Was it the Note? They're like super popular line.
That's 3/4 of a point.
3/4. You just need the number. You just need the number.
The 7?
Dang, you got it. Nailed it.
Perfect.
I don't know how you did that. You went from like I have no idea to nailing it. That was amazing. Sam?
I did. It was like it was coming. The recall was slow, but it came to me.
Yeah, you got it.
That's what happened with me with the Virtu. Was that it just got to dig. It's all in there.
You just got,
So does that show how well Samsung's PR has done since then?
Right.
People have forgotten about it.
That's a good point. Samsung actually released a fan edition 9 months after the recall.
That comes with a fan.
Smaller,
comes with a fan to blow the fire.
Although that
out?
would have been really brilliant.
A little extinguisher.
It had a smaller
too.
battery, and then 1 month after the release
battery.
of that, they released the Note 8. So
geez.
apparently they didn't expect it to do very well.
I remember being on a flight, and the attendant got over and said, "If you have a Note 7, you can't fly right now."
Yeah,
And it was
a big deal.
This is over. Like, this is completely over for Samsung, because like people were sitting there like, and if you had one, you were just smuggling it on anyway, hoping that it didn't explode. Like,
and I'm pretty sure at that time I both predicted it was the end of Samsung and that everything would be fine. I'm pretty sure at some point where we talked about and turns out I was right. So
Everything was totally fine.
So is it hot then, Gina?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
hot or not?
I almost forgot. Hot or not? Why?
Literally hot. It's on fire.
And you are right. Your answer is correct. All right.
that's the answer.
Yes. All right, Flo, you are up next. I think you're going to get this one. This tablet proved that Android could have a hit in the category back in 2012. It cost $199 to start. It was seen as a media consumption powerhouse that increased exposure of Google Play. Thankfully, it didn't end with the letter Q.
Are we talking about the Nexus 7?
Ding, 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 ding. You got it. The original Nexus 7. You got it.
Yes.
Yes.
That was a very hot product.
Yes.
And I missed it I actually missed the second gen one, is the one that really made everybody just fly over the moon. It was such a great tablet.
Jason has one, and now I'm getting all sentimental.
You're tearing.
Oh man, I'm tearing
away,
because it's
Rob.
got a crack in the corner. But oh man, I love this tablet. This tablet was perfect. It fits in your hand.
My extra factoid, I know you're about to say it. It passed Ron's pocket test. It fits.
Oh, here we go.
See my big butt.
To this day.
Perfect.
I love that you were about to go there. I was like, wait a minute, this is the factoid. And it's the white Google I.O. version because they gave it out at
Yes.
Google I.O.
I used to measure the quality of a tablet if it could fit in my back pocket.
Wasn't that amazing? I know it was amazing because I pulled all the moments, but I hope you thought it was amazing too. It was better than not having an episode, right? That's usually what we figure, that you want something in your feed. Well, there you go. Well, speaking of having something in your feed, next week, there is no episode because next Tuesday is New Year's Day and we don't have a second best of to show you for this time next week. So it's going to be kind of dark. I don't think you're going to get a new episode in your feed, but rest assured, we are back with a brand new episode starting January 8th. So make sure and keep subscribed. You'll see that episode appear, or you might catch it live because we do record this show live every Tuesday when we have a show at 5 p.m. Pacific at twit.tv/live. Otherwise, twit.tv/AAA is where you can go to subscribe to the show and make sure you never miss any of them. Because as you saw today, there's lots of moments that you don't want to miss. Or at least I like to think so. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Have a wonderful week and a wonderful new year. And I hope you had a fantastic Christmas day if you celebrate it. And we'll see you very soon. Bye, everybody.